and we can see the graph. We can see that this is the graph of this test, and as you can see, it even reached 99% profit, but at the end, in 3.5 months, it is closed by 77% profit. Hello everybody, welcome back to your channel Eco Engineering. In this video, we are going to implement a very simple strategy and combine it with Cascade Trading technique. And I want to show you how even simple strategies performance can be improved by far by using this technique. If you are not familiar with it, I leave you the link to its video and you can watch it and learn it. This video has two sections. In the first sections, I explain you the strategy and I show you how this strategy works, and then we back test it with the strategy tester in the MetaTrader 5 and we see its performance, and I show you how you can even improve it better and more. And in the second section, we go through the code and I show you how it is programmed, and we go through the code line by line. And do not forget that you can find the link to download this Expert Advisor in the description and you can test it by yourself. But it doesn't work if you just download it and use it. You need to make some improvement on it to be able to use it in your laptop. And I will show you this improvement in the programming section and you can see it there. But please remember that this code is only written for educational purposes and you should not use it in your real account and only test it in your demo account. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay with me to the end. So what is the strategy which we want to combine it with the cascade trading techniques? This strategy, I call it reverse moving average because it's similar to moving average, but there is a difference and it works actually not exactly as a moving average, but reverse it. How does it work? First, for this strategy, we have a reference moving average, which its period is around between 50 to 100, and it is very, very slow. Then we have two different another moving averages. The first one is the fast moving average, which acts and move fast like that. And the third one is our slow moving average, which I draw it by blue, and it is like this one, okay? And for example, we can continue like that, okay? We have three moving averages. The whole purpose is we only are allowed to buy when we are above the green one, which is our reference, and we are allowed to sell when we are below again the green one. This is to this point it's similar to normal moving average strategy, but the difference is normally for moving average strategy between the fast moving average and slow moving average, when we cross them upside in this moment we buy, okay? But in this case it's not like that. In this case, when we are above moving average reference we buy, but when we actually cross them downside, when the fast moving average crosses slow moving average downside, not upward, okay? Why I am using it? Because I test them several times and I found out when we do that it is more profitable or it is more reliable. There may be no logic behind it, but I back test them and I found out in this case the performance is much better. So this is how the strategy works. And when we are below, actually in this point we are selling more, not buying it, okay? But when the fast moving average crosses the slow moving average downside, we don't do anything. Yeah, it may be weird a little, but believe me, I backtest it and I see it better. This is the first strategy, but how we combine it with cascade trading, okay? For example, here we open a buy position in a way that only 1% of our balance will be risked when we hit the stop loss, okay? One buy position here, and we can just add line here. We choose it. Here, we open a buy position, and the stop loss would be 100 point below this entry point, okay? But then after that, instead of just when we hit the take profit, and for example, if the risk to reward is 2 times the take profit would be 200 points above. Instead of just hitting the take profit and close the order, we open another buy order, and again another buy order. Again, I explained it completely in the corresponding video. Okay, we use the Cascade Trading to open multiple trades and increase the chance of being much more profitable and leverage this multiple trades in our favor. Okay, so now we are in the MetaTrader 5 and we are using MetaTrader 5 strategy tester to backtest this strategy. Our expert, which we wrote it in a MQL5 or C++, it is called Moving Average Reverse Cascade. I will leave you the link to download it in the descriptions. By the way, there are a lot of interesting videos in the descriptions that you can go and watch them as well. But this is what we are testing. And we tested on the Euro USD in 1 hour time frame. We start the test from the beginning of the 2025 until the current date. We start with 100,000 US dollar, and the leverage would be 1 to 100. There are some inputs for this strategy. Fast moving average, the initial value is 10. Slow moving average, the initial value is 20. And the method is simple. It means we are not using exponential moving averages or the other one. And then risk percent is 1%. Every time that we hit the stop loss, we only lose 1% of our balance. It's very important. And then the risk to reward would be 2, stop loss point 100, minimum stop loss point 25. These two are related to the cascades techniques. You should first watch the video to know how they are meaning. Okay, it's important to be first familiar with it. Okay, then we just backtest them with the initial values, and after that we use the optimizer, complete optimizer in the strategy tester to find the best inputs for this strategy to maximize our profit. Okay, with this initial values, we backtest our strategy. I press start and just pause it, make it a little slower. Here, we go forward. We can see that it tries to open multiple trades every time it hits the stop loss, but it does it very fast. We cannot see it, but yeah, I can increase the speed, and in the result, I can show you how the trades were open. We can see that we gained $13,100. It means around 13% profit. And if you look at the history here, the logic order means the order was opened based on the moving average crossover. But when we have trailing orders, it means based on the cascade techniques, the orders are opened. Here, we first open one order based on the moving average crossover, reverse crossover, and then two other orders are open. It means we hit the take profit 2 times, but instead of closing the ticket, we open new orders. Here as well, we see that the stop loss were hit, but logic again, another trailing orders were open. Okay, and this is the backtest result, but we wanna optimize it and make it even much better. To do so, we go to the overview. We click on the complete optimizer to find out the best combination of these inputs to make this strategy the best. Okay, to do so, I want to change this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to find the combination of these 5 inputs. Okay, the slow moving average, I want it to be from 10 to 15, and the fast, I want to check it from the 20 to 30, one by one. Then the risk to reward, I want it to be 2, 2, 3. If you are not familiar how we can use this strategy optimizer, I will leave you also the link to the complete tutorial for this optimizer here. You can watch it as well. But yeah, then stop loss points 100 to 400 and with 100 step, and this one 25 to I want it to be 200, and the steps I want it to be 25. Okay, even we can increase it a little more, I don't know, maybe to 600, and this one or to 800, and this one to 200. Okay, how many steps do we have here? Starts, sorry, actually this is the start, this is the end. I want it to be 800 here, and this one be 100, and this one 200, and this one 25, like that. Okay, and it will be 8,448 combination, and it goes through all of them to find out the best one. But actually it is a lot, but actually it is too much. We can even decrease this one. I think 800 is a lot. I want it to be 500, and this one, or yeah, 400, and this one only 100, and then it will be 2000 combination. If I start it, it starts to backtest this strategy with the combinations of these inputs from the beginning of the year. Okay, we press start, another window is opened, and there would be different dots for each backtest with its performance. We will wait to see the dots. Here we also can see the results for each backtest. What was the result with which combinations? We can see that here, for example, with this backtest, we were in profit by 64%, 60.3%. With this backtest, we were in profit by 25.9% almost. And the combinations of the inputs are fast moving average 10, slow moving average 20, risk to reward 2, and stop loss point 100, and minimum stop loss points 100. We can see the different combinations here, and also here for each of them we have one dot. Each of them is representing one backtest with one combinations of these inputs. Okay, I will come back to you when the backtest is over and we go forward. Okay, the test is over, and we can see the result of all of these 2,112 tests here, and the result is ordered from the maximum profit by percentage and to the minimum profit and or maximum loss. Okay, all of them are here. This is the 77 in two between from the beginning of the 2025 to today. It means around 3 months and 14 days. This combinations of the inputs resulted in 77.41%. Okay, this one 71%, this one 64%. We can right click on this one and run single test, and only run this one to see what is the performance. We can see that it is running here, and we can see the graph. We can see that this is the graph of this test, and as you can see, it even reached 99% profit, but at the end in 3.5 months it is closed by 77% profit. But does it mean that we should choose this one and start testing with this one? Actually not. It is not. We will not choose it like this, because this combinations of the inputs for this strategy is only tested for 3.5 months, and we want to have a strategy that it has a acceptable performance for at least 1 year. Okay, and then what is important is this drawdown. A strategy is the best when the result is very good with very low drawdown. So we should have a balance between the profit and the drawdown that we have here. For example, this one is good actually because 77% profit with 13% drawdown in comparison with this one, which has 20% drawdown, is much better. But we can go down and, for example, this one here, 11% drawdown, 33% profit. Okay, or this one, 40% profit and 13% drawdown. Okay, let's. But now, what we are gonna do? We are gonna, after we find out the best combination, like here, which one are the best combinations of the inputs, we change the date. Here, we change the date, and we wanna backtest it, for example, for 1 year, 3 months, or yeah, from the beginning of this year. But because I don't want it to take a lot of time for this test, I don't test it for 1 year and 3 months, but I suggest you to do it for at least 1 year. I try to test it for example, yeah, from the beginning of August, okay? But you do it for 1 year. And for these dates, for a longer time interval, we choose each of these tests and run them one more time, and we choose the one with the best performance in the whole year. See, it still takes a lot of time, and imagine how much it would be if it was 1 year. And the result, we can see it here. For 1 year, it's almost, again, around, yeah, 70% profit. This is acceptable for us. But then let's choose, for example, uh, this one, because I think the combination of 125, which is 1/4 of the 100, or when the minimum stop loss point is 1/4 of the stop loss point, mathematically is the best. I think it would have the best, it should the most reliable result I would think that it will have. Okay, I run it again for 25 for this combination to see what would be the result. And now it is finished. We can go back and test the graph. It is very robust, and this is the result of the back test. Okay, but remember that you should go and test it for the whole year, and then we choose one of them. We do not choose the first one which has the best profit, because we want to save time. That's why at the beginning we only test different inputs for a very small period of time, in this case 3 months. But then after we found the performance for the 3 months, then we go and backtest the best one, those that has the best performance for the 3 months for the whole year. And then we choose the combinations of the inputs for this strategy, for this expert advisor that has the best performance for at least 1 year. Okay, so in the next section, we go through the code, and I show you how the code is programmed, and I show you which changes you should make so you can run it on your system as well. Okay, now we are in the meta editor, and here is the code that we have written. The expert advisor name is MA reverse cascade, moving average reverse cascade. The code is here. At the beginning of the code, we have some properties plus this include, most common classes include, okay? The includes are actually classes where we defined most functional method or functions that we are going to use and save them in this include, and whenever we want to use them again, instead of adding them to our expert advisor, we just call this class and we can use them. So the most important things for you is in the folder of include here, you should have this most common class as well, .mqh, exactly with this name. You should not change the name with this name, okay? And you can find this file in our Telegram channel, that you can find it in the description, and just search for this name in the Telegram channel and download the file and add it here in this include. Then you would have access to all of these functions that I have already programmed them and wrote them here, and I use them. So because many of them are used in this code, and without this most common classes include, you cannot compile this file, okay, this code. Now we go forward, We have our inputs. Our inputs are defined here, the initial values for the moving averages, and then the initial value for the risk percent, 1%, and then risk to reward is 2, then stop loss point 100, minimum stop loss point is 25, and because they are input, we can change them in our optimization backtest. And then this area with this structured data type is defined here as well. And yeah, the lot size as well, all of them are here. And the main body of our code, very simple. At the beginning, yeah, we say the apply price for everything, whether it is moving average or yeah, it is RSI, or for example, if you have, I want all of them to be calculated based on the close price. So then we come and calculate the moving averages. The fast moving average for the current candle is calculated through this moving average calculator, which is a function I implement and applied and wrote it here in most common classes. Okay, so that means if you don't run this, you don't have this most common class here, you wouldn't be able to even use this moving average calculator. Remember, when you add it here, you should open it, compile it as well, okay? Then, slow moving average current for the current candle, it is written here. Then, fast moving average for the previous candle, here. Slow moving average for previous candle, here. And then reference moving average is here, calculated as well. Then ask and beat are calculated and added, mapped to these variables with symbol info double and then normalizing it. Yeah. In MQL5, in contrast with MQL4, where we have a predefined ask and beat property, we have to implement them by ourselves. It's somehow annoying, really. MQL4 was much better. Most of them are based on C++, but the methods and properties in MQL4 were easier to work with them. But in MQL5, they are much, much more efficient to work with them. It may be a little more complicated, but when you learn it, they are much efficient. Then this is new candle if condition will run, and I use this trade is okay true when this if condition is run. So only I will run one trade in each candle. I'm not allowed to run two trades in each candle. Okay, this is the logic behind it. Yeah. Then we go down. Actually, we should not have this one. I will tell you why. This two, I delete them. Then we go inside the code for this is the condition for selling, and this is the condition for buying. Look at it, read it. You will notice that it is exactly the reverse of moving average strategy. Okay. Then we calculate the optimum lot size. So when we hit the stop loss, only 1% of our balance will be lost. Okay. Then we have a function. A function will run named check money for trade, and we call it enough money. Check value, and we call it enough value. These two functions are written already are in MQL5 website, and I just copy and paste them here. Yeah, check value, and check money for trade. If you don't have enough money, then this one will be false. If you don't have enough, you're not allowed to trade enough volume, then this one will be false. Both of them are very useful. We should check them before. We should check them before we send any orders. That's why, yeah, we continue. We have stop loss. We calculate stop loss. Then we calculate take profit, and then we, based on the result of these two functions, if both of them are true, then we send a trade. Okay. Here again, this is exactly in the other side for buy order, very similar. And then this function, I wrote this function by myself. If trade is okay, it means the new candle is open and the number of open orders are already more than one or equal to one, then we are allowed to implement the cascade trading logic. Yeah. And they are all based on this cascade trading. And if you go inside this most common class, goes all the way down, you can see that I wrote this function here, a lot of properties it has, and at the end it returns a data structure. It doesn't return only one value. It returns a data structure. This data structure is named stop loss take profit. Okay, here I define this structure. It just have two variables. One of them is new stop loss and the other is new take profit. Each time that this logic is run, that means we hit the take profit, and we should calculate the new stop loss and new take profit. Okay, so in order just to have it safe, I will make some changes on it, and you should reverse these changes when you wanna run it. Okay, because just I don't want mistakenly you run this optimize optimum lot size instead of, for example, on Euro USD on uh, one, for example, stocks, that it may not work for it because it's not tested on it and it may be dangerous. Okay, but anyway, as I mentioned before, this is only for educational purposes. You should only run your own code on your real account. Okay, so I delete this one and I just say, or neglect it, comment it, and I say, yeah, lot size is equal to 0, 1, and I copy it here as well, and comment this part as well. Yeah, instead of just using 1%, I just use the smallest lot size that you are allowed. Okay, and then this part as well, I comment it to. You should just reverse it. Okay, I compile it. I put this one. Well, the link that I give you to go and download this Expert Advisor, in its descriptions, this code is copy and paste there as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to hit the like button. By doing so, you will help us that YouTube algorithm introduce us to those who are interested in these topics as well. So I wish you a good day. Goodbye.